There we go. The meeting of the Planning Commission will now come to order. Please rise and follow Commissioner Uba in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Turn my mic. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, you did. Flying colors. Will the secretary please call roll?
Commissioner Uva,
Present.
Commissioner Ortiz,
Present.
Commissioner Montoya,
Present.
Vice Chair Owens,
Present.
and Chair Duarte.
Present. Will those in the audience please read the cover page of the agenda as it outlines the procedures which the commission will follow? This is the time set aside for oral communications for the Planning Commission. Does any commissioner wish to express an announcement or report on a conference or a meeting or request items for a future agenda? Commissioner Montoya?
I've got nothing, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Commissioner Ortiz?
Nothing to report. Thank you.
Commissioner Uva?
Nothing to report. I'm just very glad and very happy to be part of the Planning Commission. Looking forward to working with all of you and working with our city staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair Owens?
I have nothing to report, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
And I would just like to officially welcome Ms. Uva to the board. So we have a great addition, so thank you for joining us. Is the Director of the Community Development aware of any presentations for tonight?
Yes, Chairman Duarte, we do have a presentation tonight. I believe you and your colleagues are going to present a resolution of appreciation to former Commissioner Jimmy Spathos.
Yes, is he here? Oh, there he is. See? Jimmy, come on up, pal. Come up to the podium here. We have a resolution here that we'd like to present for you for your service, hard work, signed by all the planning commissioners. Mr. I'd call him Spatos, yeah, but he was here with us for a little over 2 years. Represented his district in a very fine manner. So this is just a token appreciation from the city that we'd like to present to you. But let me, turn that over to you, Mr. Spatos, and see if you have any words for.
Well, thank you guys for having me here today. It's really nice being back here with everyone and seeing everyone's face. It was a very good couple of years. I think we did about 2 years, and it was a pleasure working with you guys, serving this great city. Commissioner Owens, I'm sad I can't see you in person here today, but you were a great role model these past couple of years. Commissioner Duarte, I recently found out you have a September 9th birthday, so be ready for a phone call when we're out on that day, Virgos. The two new commissioners, it was a little disheartening that we didn't get a chance to work together a little more, but I've heard very good things, wonderful things about you guys, and I hope and pray that you guys have the insight and wherewithal to do good things here in the city. I know you'll do a great job. Aldo, thank you for everything. Of course, thank you as well, and everyone that I work with. Mrs. Uva, I've worked with for almost 20 years now, so you guys are getting a very, very capable commissioner. I wish you guys the best of luck, and I'll be here. My office is still here, so I'm here almost daily. Aldo, again, awesome, very welcoming. Thank you very much. It's been a great experience, and I'm sure I'll see you probably a lot as well.
All right,
That's it.
Does any commissioners want to share some words? Vice Chair Owens?
Sure. Jimmy, we miss you already, but moving on, congratulations, on your new endeavors. Happy to hear you're still in town. It was a pleasure to serve with you as well. So best of luck going forward, and maybe we'll see you in front of us on something.
Sure.
Chair
Thank you.
Chair Montoya?
I just wanted to say, I share the same sentiments. It was a bummer that we couldn't work together more in person, and it was only a few short months, but it was an honor to get to serve with you on this capacity, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Chair Ortiz?
I also want to say thank you. It was an honor to serve with you a short period of time. Glad to finally meet you in person.
Yeah.
But a great moment to meet you in person, honestly. And I know that you served your city with great love, and I hope I can feel the same, and do great for my city as you did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair Uva?
Well, Jimmy, like you said, we've known each other a good 20 years for sure.
Yeah.
I know you did an awesome job serving on Planning Commission, and I hope that I can do just as good of a job as you did and do great things for the city like you did all these years. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'd just like to reiterate, everything that's been said. 2 years, 2 great years for your district. Now I guess I'm becoming the senior here next to Vice Chair Owens. I've seen, now, a couple of commissioners, and I always say that I think Commissioner Spatos actually picked up things faster than any other commissioner that I've seen here. So you got big shoes to fill, Carrie. But congratulations on whatever you do moving forward. And with that, I'm going to step down and present this to you here.
All right.
Yeah. Hopefully the social distancing's okay. I don't know.
You can throw it, pass it. Silly pass. Oh, is that it? Okay. Close enough.
Yeah.
You got it. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Does the Director of Community Development have any changes to the agenda?
No changes tonight, Chairman.
Okay. Does the Director of Community Development have a report on City Council actions?
No reports tonight, Chairman.
Okay. Now is the time set aside for public hearings. The public hearing for PLN-21-0079 is now open. Does the Secretary have proof of publication?
Yes, we do.
Will the Director of Community Development introduce staff making this presentation?
Thank you, Chair Duarte. Tonight we have our Senior Planner, Alfonso Hernandez, to make the presentation.
Good evening, Chairman Duarte and members of the Planning Commission. Tonight, you're being asked to consider a special event permit for Circus to take place at the Stonewood Mall. The applicant is Circus Vargas. Circus Vargas last hosted the same event previously in 2019. This year's event will take place between August 27th and September 12th. This is an area of Stonewood Shopping Center, outlined in red, located on Firestone Boulevard between Lakewood Boulevard and Woodruff Avenue. In total, the site is 63 acres. This is the corresponding zoning for the subject property and nearby area. The site is developed under a specific plan, SP 89-1, also called the Stonewood Specific Plan. To the east are R3 and R1 properties developed with condominiums and single-family homes. To the north are primarily R1 zone properties. To the west are CP zone properties developed with a mix of both commercial and residential. And to the south are commercial properties located within the Lakewood Firestone Specific Plan. Here is a layout of the exterior of the Stonewood Mall. The event area will take place toward the southwest corner of the site in the parking area west of BJ's and north of the Days Inn Hotel. The designated parking area is located towards the northeast portion of the site, but away from nearby residential properties. This area is directly east of the Kohl's and north of Sears. Here's a closer view of the Circus layout. The main entrance is closest to Lakewood Boulevard. The Circus area is blocked off from traffic with the exception of ADA parking and emergency vehicles. Parking attendants will be located at designated areas to assist with movement and provide direction. Here is a floor plan of the tent. There are 7 different points of egress, with the bottom square representing the main entrance. The event setup will be taking place on Tuesday, August 24th, and the breakdown will be completed by Tuesday, September 14th. The first show will be on Friday, August 27th, and the final show on September 12th. There are 2 off days in between those days. In total, there are 15 days of performances on an overall of 30 shows. Each day will have 1 to 3 events. The expected occupancy is 500 people. Here is an image of the tent setup. And here's an image of the interior. During our Development Review Committee discussion, the police department requested that 8 uniformed security officers be present and 1 parking attendant at the main entrance serving the circus. The circus will provide 8 security guards, 3 parking attendants, and the mall will be providing an additional security guards exclusively for the event. Also, during this review, staff received 3 calls in objection to the event due to concerns over COVID-19. I'd like to point out that the project is conditioned to follow all state and county protocols. That condition is number 6 in the resolution. In conclusion, it is staff's opinion that all findings can be made in a positive manner. And with that, I end my presentation. Thank you. I'm available for any questions.
All right, thank you very much. Commissioner Ortiz, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have 2 questions. The first question is, who's going to be directing traffic during that time, and during what hours are they going to start directing traffic?
So when going back to this, no. So there'd be 3 parking attendants, 1 at the main entrance. So that person is designated for telling people where to go in terms of the parking. There'll be an additional 2 parking attendants. If we follow the laser, there's the X there with the entrance at Cecilia, and then another attendant at the entrance for the designated parking area. And then also in addition, on the in terms of the security plan, they're planning on having directional signage that telling people where they could park.
For all that parking, is it going to be enough for that size of your event?
We discussed that in our development review committee with the police department. They felt for the size, they have an expectation of 500 people. So they felt for that size, 1 was sufficient, and the circus decided to provide 3.
Okay. And the other question in regards to trash, who's going to be responsible for the trash during the event and after the event?
The circus, Vargas, as part of the conditions on the Public Works Department, had us add a condition that they'd be cleaning up the site before, during, and after.
Okay. That's the end of my questionings.
Thank you. Commissioner Montoya?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one question that kind of builds on Commissioner Ortiz with the directing of traffic. So will this parking attendants be directing all traffic going in towards that designated area, even if they're, let's say, going to the Buffalo Wild Wings? So would they have to rotate around the whole mall in order to get there if they're not attending the circus?
So they will be providing assistance for everyone. For individuals who need ADA, they'll be designating them where to go. So the ADA parking would be here, north of that circus area. So they'd be telling them to go there. The individuals who are going to the circus, directing them towards the designated parking area, and others directing them towards different parts of the mall. And in terms of whether they'd have to go around, this space here in between BJ's and the circus would be open.
Well, I guess let me clarify. So individuals who aren't attending the circus but are going to some of the restaurants at the mall, would they all be pushed in that general direction, the same as a person who is attending Circus Vargas?
No, they'd be allowed to access the rest of the mall through this space opening here in between BJ's and Circus
I see.
Vargas.
So they'd be kind of checking each individual car as they come in and asking if they're attending the circus or not.
I don't believe the idea would be that they'd be directing each individual or stopping them. They'd have directional signs and then have visibly noticed that they're working for Circus and directing people where to go. They wouldn't be stopping other individuals from going in a different direction.
I see. Okay. Thank you. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Uva?
I have one question that's related to the parking and where the actual tent is. Once you park your car, are you then walking that distance to the tent area?
You would be on. We did think that it was quite a ways away.
So it looks like quite a ways away.
We did suspect that some of the individuals wouldn't walk around, but they'd walk through the interior, and that would provide a benefit to the rest of the tenants at the mall. So that'd be a benefit. So yeah, but ultimately, the mall and Circus Vargas decided that this would be the best area because it's not as trafficked as the rest of the areas at the mall.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair Owens?
No, I have no questions, Mr. Chair. I'll reserve my comments for our deliberations. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I just same as Commissioner Uva, I had seen the designated parking in the north, east side, but I see what you're saying in terms of maybe density in other places. But yeah, that was my question. But just to follow that up, would there be any shuttle service provided or not?
I'm sorry, sir?
Any shuttle service?
Shuttle service on, I think it'd be best to ask the mall. I know there was a discussion at the previous meeting in 2019 that they may be able to provide some, but it may be a question better for them.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you for the presentation. Before I call the applicant or his or representative, this would be a time for any planning commissioner to discuss any pre-hearing sites, visits, or pre-hearing discussions the commissioners may have had about this project. Commissioner Montoya?
I've got nothing, Chairman.
Commissioner Ortiz?
I got nothing, Chair. Thank you.
Commissioner Uva?
Nothing for me as well.
And Vice Chair Owens?
None for me, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
And there's none for me either. So will the applicant or his or her representative please come forward to give testimony?
Hello, thank you for having us. My name is Katya
Hello?
and my husband Nelson.
All right.
We are the current owners,
Sorry.
we are the current owners and organizers for Circus Vargas, already for 15 years. And this is our second time right here at the Stonewood. Okay, so we are really happy that we were able to reopen again after a year and a half being closed. And things are getting back to normal. So it's pretty much the same event that we had in 2019, okay? And it's about the same show, family show. We don't have any rides. It's pretty much a
No animals.
100% family-oriented show that we provide throughout California already for 15 years ourselves, and Circus Vargas is going now through 52 years anniversary. So it's a circus and entertainment industry that has been around for a long time, especially in California.
And yeah, we want to take the opportunity to be here and just bring the circus to the city of Downey. We know it's challenging times for everyone, and thank you for that.
Thank you. Commissioner Ortiz, do you have any questions for applicant?
In regards to the directing traffic, are you guys opposed to adding more people to direct traffic, especially because event parking is such a far away area and to the tent?
Yes, absolutely, especially for this location, being that the parking lot is a little bit farther than usually how we have the parking. The way that the three parking attendants are going to actually direct traffic to there is not going to be by stopping every car and asking them where they're going. It's about having, like, when we have the
Spinner
sign
signs.
spinners on the corners of they're going to have a sign that says Circus Parking with the arrow. So they're going to move it and make sure that people that come into the event, they're going to see, oh, that is the way, that is the way, and that is the way, until they make it there. And the idea for them to walk back is actually for the audience to walk through the mall, because I think that will benefit all the business within inside the mall, going back and forth, and that will generate more traffic for the business inside of the mall. So that was the
And also, we
idea.
do have a drop-off zone, so we're gonna have a designated drop-off zone, so people can drop off their families and children and elderly. And of course, we have also the ADA parking right close to the tent, so that will be there. But everybody else is able to drop off people as well, if they choose to do so.
And
And
where's
that
the,
is actually is right on the main entrance of the Circus, right next to the box office and right next to the ADA parking.
Next to the ADA parking will be the drop-off zone by between the ADA parking and the box office.
okay, that concludes some of my questioning.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Montoya?
Yes, I just thought of one, but I think maybe it might be better suited for, Alfonso. Would you be able to say if the lights at Stonewood Mall would stay on late enough for individuals walking back to their car, just from a safety standpoint?
There is lighting on the site, but if the commission wanted to condition that additional lighting be placed on the Stonewood side along walking paths, that's something that is within the commission's purview and I believe was an added condition for the original event.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And that concludes my question.
Commissioner Uva?
I don't have any questions.
Thank you. Vice Chair Owens?
None for me, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
And I have no questions. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's it?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Has there been any correspondence in favor or opposition?
Yes, there was a correspondence. It was added to your packet as Exhibit E regarding concerns for the residential properties at the rear of Stonewood related to trash and noise and traffic.
And that was the only one? Alfonso?
There was also calls in opposition to the project related to COVID-19.
Okay. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or opposition of the application? Please step forward. Okay, seeing nobody. Does the planning staff have a recommendation?
Yes, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve special event permit PLN-21-0079.
Sorry about that. Okay, the hearing on PLN-21-0079 is closed. And now discussion. Does the commission have any discussion, any comments they'd like to make prior to taking a motion? Commissioner Ortiz?
I think three members directing traffic is just too little for such a size. I know during COVID, a lot of people were home, and now that everything's starting to open up, I think a lot of more people are inclined to go to these events, especially for young children. So I would not be opposed to adding more people directing traffic, especially maybe through some other major entry points in the mall.
Okay.
Commissioners, as you commissioners discuss this, we need a specific direction, as does the applicant. So for instance, if it's not 3, then is it 4 or is it 5? And then at which points as well. And then we can have that discussion as well with the commission, but that's the type of direction we'd need at the end of the discussion.
Yeah, I'd also recommend you, after you've decided what the particulars are for the added condition or the change in the condition, that we reopen the public hearing, get the applicant to chime in.
I would like to add, in 2019, when this activity was first presented to us, we were nervous. The city of Downey hadn't hosted, or maybe had never hosted a circus, at least on that site. And so we are concerned about the noise and the overflow of traffic, both vehicle and pedestrian, over to our residential neighborhoods. We were also concerned about traffic circulation and how the event was going to be managed. And so we inserted a lot of the conditions that you're seeing tonight in your staff report. And the commission also had a vigorous discussion in terms of the conditions and how it was going to be operated. And it was great to hear at the conclusion of the event that we didn't have any concerns or complaints from our police department in regards to crime or any traffic issues, nor from our public works department in regards to any traffic circulation or pedestrian circulation or trash, nor from our community. We didn't receive any calls from the residents from the surrounding areas about trash, crime, traffic, or any loitering or nuisances of that case. And so once again, we are reintroducing all these conditions because we don't want to assume that we got lucky one year and it's going to just occur that way. So we want to make sure that we attach the appropriate conditions based on what the activity is, and look forward to the Planning Commission's input as well.
I would have been maybe adding 3 more to the other side on the main entrance, where raising canes, Olive Garden, to direct them to that easy access to the event parking on that side. So adding 3 more,
Okay.
directing traffic.
Yeah, it's definitely something we can discuss. Is that all your recommendations?
I think that's about.
Okay. Commissioner Montoya?
My only concern was that, the lighting at the mall stay on, but it seems that that isn't really an issue for us. So for me, I've got no further comments.
Okay. Commissioner Uva?
The lighting was my concern as well, so it looks like that's being handled. Because it's quite a bit of a walk to go from that one part to the other. And I know just from dining in the mall, there's not a lot of lights in the parking lot part. So that's my concern, that they have to walk. Circus is going to get out at what time? 9:30 at night. It's going to be pretty dark then. So that was my concern.
Thank you. Vice Chair Owens?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I just wanted to start off with, I would be completely irresponsible if I didn't mention this, and the mentioning of this is the obvious. There's over 4,000 COVID cases again today. The numbers aren't going down. This event is planned for a week or less than a week from now. I understand the applicant's dilemma in regards to scheduling, locking down the space, making the deal with the property owner, and subsequently being in front of us here. But obviously, I'm not there for the same concerns. This thing is not managed yet. It is a matter of choice, understood, whether you attended this event or not. But I'm going to tell you my position, and the reason for this comment is I'm going to be an absolute no at this time. So those are my comments, and thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair. My comments on this here, just I think, as 2 other commissioners stated, I think when this show is done, I don't know if the mall is actually open. So the lighting would be one thing that I would like to see the mall maybe extend in terms of the walk back all the way to the parking lot. Because being that once the show gets out, I believe the mall would be closed for the evening shows. So I definitely think that the lighting around the parking area to the actual event should be extended, for not much more of a time, maybe like say an hour after the show, just to, for safety reasons and concerns. So those are my comments at this time. I don't know if Commissioner agrees with that or has any other additional thoughts. This is the time to share, guys.
Mr. Chairman, I definitely agree with that. As long as we can secure that there is adequate lighting for people to get back to their cars afterwards, I say we can, or I ask that we can condition that.
I have a question. What time does the light it's turned off usually? Or it's something for the staff?
Do we know
Yeah,
that,
that's
Alfonso?
that's a question of the applicant. So when we reopen the public hearing, we can chat about lighting timing and how that plays into your request.
Is there any other concerns other than the lighting we'd like to discuss? No? Okay, is that something that, if we put a motion, is that something that the commissioner would like to add, extended lighting hours?
I'll be more open. I just want to know from what time to what time are those hours? So I'm open to approve that motion, just want to know like what time to what time we're going to have these lighting.
Okay. Yeah, I would say if we conditioned something for it, it would just be an hour past the show, and then we could find out what time the actual lighting is now. If the lighting shuts down at 10:30 and the show's at 9:30, then it's not an issue. But if the lighting is closes at starts about 9 o'clock and the show runs till 9:30, then I think there is an issue there. So that's something we can ask the applicant. But prior to asking them, is that something that we would agree on, or do you guys find that necessary or not?
I definitely think that's necessary just for safety reasons.
Okay, so I think we can ask the applicant that. We'll at this time reopen.
Yeah, you'll reopen the public hearing. If there's no objections, you can reopen the public hearing and ask the applicant or their representative to address you on lighting.
Okay, so now we'll reopen the hearing. And maybe this is a question not just for the applicant, but for if there's a representative from Stonewood here. I think that would probably be the more appropriate.
Hi, I'm Dina Henry. I'm the general manager. Our lighting is on photocell, so it stays on all night. So
Okay.
the lighting won't be an issue.
All night, okay,
Check that box.
check that off. Anybody have any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, in regards to the 3 additional parking by the Firestone entrance and Olive Garden, is it possible for you guys to add those?
Yes, on Circus Vargas's behalf, definitely we can add 3 more persons. Also wanted to be known that Stonewood also has 3 additional security members as well available during our show times. And
Specific to the show.
Specifically to the show, starting about 90 minutes before the show until an hour after the show. Everybody will be available from our team and the security team from
So
the
we're allocating about 256 hours of security just to Circus Vargas.
Okay. So you wouldn't be opposed to 3 additional,
No, we will not be opposed to that. That's not a problem.
okay.
Thank you.
Did any commissioner have any other questions? No? Okay. I guess I will now close the public hearing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, commissioners, now's the time to discuss this once again. and see if we can get to a motion on this. Does anybody have any additional conditions they'd like to add at this time? Commissioner Montoya?
Nothing further to add, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Ortiz?
Nothing further to add. Thank you.
Commissioner Uva?
Nothing further.
And Vice Chair Owens?
Nothing from me as well, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay.
So I think it would just be a matter of just determining what the language is. I'm understanding that one condition would, that we may not need a condition for the lighting if you're
That's
satisfied
correct.
with the response. And then it would just be the issue of the 3 additional persons to direct
Yeah, direct traffic. So is that something,
We'd need to vet that language out.
correct, is that something, and that's what I was getting at, Commissioners, I'm sorry. In terms of the 3 additional directional attendants, is that something we want to condition? I know Commissioner Ortiz mentioned it, the applicant wouldn't be opposed to it. I'm just seeing if everybody agrees it's necessary or not. Commissioner Ortiz?
Waiting on language? No?
He's asking if you are still wanting the 3
Oh,
additional.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do the rest of commissioners agree? Commissioner Montoya?
If the applicant is agreeable to it, then I will also agree on that condition as well.
Okay, Commissioner Uva?
I would agree on that condition as well, especially, I think Commissioner Ortiz is talking about the area around the Raising Cane's specifically, and that area is very crowded and very congested into the wee hours of the night. So I think the extra directional signs, people with the directional signs will help.
Okay. Vice Chair Owens, I know your position. In general,
Yeah, so I'm a no vote, so at this time, I'm not interested in enhancing and/or changing, adding, or enhancing again any conditions. Thank you.
okay. Well, I agree that it's very dense in that area where Commissioner Ortiz stated Raising Cane's is very popular. And the applicant wouldn't be opposed to it. So if we have language for the staff in terms of additional condition, I don't know if it would be added on to one of the conditions already.
Sure, Chairman Duarte, I think we might be able to take a stab at it now.
All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
Mr. Chair, we can add in a new condition 24 and then remunerate everything that follows. The new condition would read, a total of 6 parking attendants shall be provided, 3 as depicted on the original application submittal, and 3 dispersed throughout the southeast entrances of the mall site near the Raising Cane's restaurant.
Okay, great. With that, does any commissioner have a motion?
A motion to approve condition 24?
No.
To the,
The entire item.
It'd be a motion to approve the application
application.
and to adopt the resolution with the amended condition of approval.
So I approve PLN-21-00079 with amendments and conditions included,
With the amended condition.
with
yes.
amended conditions?
Yes.
yes?
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a first and a second.
Commissioner Uva?
This is voting now?
Yes.
Vote, yes.
Aye.
Sorry. Commissioner Ortiz?
Aye.
Commissioner Montoya?
Aye.
Vice Chair Owens?
Respectfully, no.
And Chair Duarte?
Aye.
And the motion passes to adopt a resolution of approval approving PLN 210079 for a special event permit with modified amended condition as stated.
Okay, congratulations. Thank you.
Commissioners, just so for your information, we're doing roll call votes on all of the action items tonight because Commissioner Owens is participating virtually. Once you're all here present, then we can start voting electronically from your
Electronically, yeah.
screen.
Okay. All right. All right, now is the time set aside for public hearing PLN-21-0052. Does the secretary have proof of publication?
Yes, we do.
Okay, will the Director of Community Development and Energy staff making the presentation?
Thank you, Chairman Duarte. Once again, up to bat is our senior planner, Alfonso Hernandez.
Okay. Good evening again, Planning Commissioners. Tonight, you're being asked to consider a conditional use permit for a commercial recreation facility at the Stonewood Mall. The commercial recreation is in the form of a kids' indoor gymnasium. The business is called Candyland, and the applicant is Peter Cho. This is an aerial of the Stonewood Shopping Center outlined in red, located on Firestone Boulevard between Lakewood Boulevard and Woodruff Avenue. The site is a total of 63 acres. This is the corresponding zoning for the subject property and nearby area. The site is developed under a specific plan, SP 89-1, or also called the Stonewood Specific Plan. To the east are R3 and R1 lots developed with condominiums and single-family homes. To the north are primarily R1 zone properties. To the west are CP zone properties developed with a mix of both commercial and residential. And to the south are commercial properties located within the Lakewood Firestone Specific Plan. Here is a layout of the interior of the Stonewood Mall. Clouded in red is where the tenant space is proposed. To the east of the mall, directly west of the Sears entrance, or the interior entrance. And just in case we can't see it, it's this area here I'm highlighting with the laser. Here is a rendered image of the proposed floor plan. The tenant space is a total of 9,446 square feet. Located throughout the space are various soft play obstacle courses, which include tubes, slides, ball pits, climbing ropes. Also within the space are 2 private rooms for rent and a retail area. Here are renderings of what the space will look like. The top photo is the entrance of the tenant space. Here are additional images of the obstacle courses. The business will be open daily, Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. The activities consist of free play, which must be supervised by a parent. Admission is provided on an hourly rate or through a monthly membership. At any given time, the applicant expects a maximum of 120 patrons and 30 staff members. As part of your packet, we received correspondence regarding concerns over COVID-19. I would like to point out that the project is conditioned to follow all state and county protocols. The condition is number 6 in the resolution. And with that, I conclude my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
All right, thank you very much. Commissioner Montoya, do you have any questions?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Commissioner Ortiz?
No questions for me either. Thank you.
Commissioner Uva?
None for me.
Okay, and Vice Chair Owens?
Sure, I have one. So, is the Stonewood representative still with us? This would certainly be a lease, space that they are going to lease to this tenant. Can we know, or do we know the length of the lease?
I'm sure they can answer it. It's not completely cogent to the discussion as it's a allowed use within the zoning area. And we'll default to Stonewood management if they're comfortable divulging their real estate transaction with their tenant.
Okay, thank you.
All right. My only question to staff is that I see the condition 6 that we had in the previous presentation. Yeah, I did see when Circus Vargas had hand sanitizers provided. It wasn't part of the 6. Is that something that, in terms of CDC, in terms of hand sanitizer, is that included, or would you have to add an additional condition for that?
When I was researching the protocols, I believe the only protocol in place is that they had to wear masks. Everything else is guidelines or best practices. So if you'd like to condition it, you'd have to condition if you want them to use the sanitizing stations.
Mr. Chair, if I may also, the reason why we did leave flexibility and make reference to the LA County Department of Public Health conditions is because, again, this is, there are two things that staff was looking at, is that an entitlement stays with the land and all conditions placed on there are forever bound to it as long as the use is there. So hopefully we get past this at some point and these restrictions are no longer in place. But if we do add conditions for, say, hand sanitizer and those types of things, while good practice, they would still continue to be bound by these types of regulations. Whereas with the LA County Public Health orders, those continue to change as the conditions change. And they do list out items that the different types of businesses are required to provide.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much for that. And that was all my questions. So thank you very much. Okay, before I call the applicant or his or her representative, this would be the time for any planning commissioners to discuss any pre-hearing site visits or pre-hearing discussions the commissioners may have had about this project. Commissioner Montoya,
I've had no visits or discussions, Chairman.
Commissioner Ortiz,
None.
Commissioner Uva,
None.
Vice Chair Owens.
I have none. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and I have none. Will the applicant or his or her representative please come forward to give testimony?
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming. My name is Peter Cho. I'm a husband and father of two beautiful daughters, 11 and 14. I grew up in Downey, and I graduated from Warren High School in 1994. I chose Downey as our second location because it's centrally located and densely populated. Our first location is in the city of Santa Ana at the Main Place Mall. I'm also opening 5 more locations in Southern California in the next 2 years. Thank you. I'm available for any questions.
All right, thank you very much. Commissioner Montoya, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No questions.
Commissioner Ortiz?
No questions, just a comment. I told my niece about it and I showed her a picture and she was so excited about it. And she's like, Nino, I can't wait for you to take me. And I know she, during these COVID times, she was stuck at home on the iPad. I really hate that. So I'm pretty excited for like something like this to be in Stonewood Mall. So
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Uva?
I have 2 questions. The hours of operation, is that what the Stonewood Mall requires?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's the mall hours.
And then my second question is, I think I know the answer because I think Mr. Hernandez kind of addressed it, but can kids be dropped off there?
No.
They have to have parental
Correct.
supervision. Okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Uva. Vice Chair Owens?
No comment. Thank you.
And I have no comment. I won't hold it against you. You went to Warren and you went to
Yes,
Downey.
I went to Warren.
Other than that, yeah. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Has there been any correspondence in favor or opposition?
Yes, as part of your packet on Exhibit D, there was correspondence and concerns regarding COVID-19 in opposition to the project.
Okay. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or opposition of the application? Please step forward at this time. Okay, I see no one. Does the planning staff have a recommendation?
Yes, staff recommends the Planning Commission approve conditional use permit PLN-21-00052.
Okay, the hearing on PLN-21-00052 is closed. Does the commission have any questions at this time or would like to discuss anything about the project? Commissioner Montoya?
I've got nothing to add or discuss. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Ortiz, other than your niece, is there anything you'd like to add here?
she told me I better vote yes. No. One comment, just I know that we're gonna get a lot of emails and correspondence in regards to COVID. I know it's a hard time, but I'm a firm believer that we should not stop business because of COVID. And I know I'm hoping that everything goes away tomorrow. But I hope that everything that comes forward in front of us, that it's in good intention for the future of Downey. So that's the only thing I'm gonna say.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Uva,
Nothing for me.
Vice Chair Owens.
And nothing for me, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Yes, and the only thing I just, the same sentiments as Commissioner Ortiz. I know that some people will, be talking about the COVID issues, potential. We do have the guidelines that, I guess, with the health department, so they should be abiding by those. And if, things get out of hand, things will, the CDC will actually, or our local health department will act in furtherance of any health issues. So I'm also, with that, in favor of the project. Is there a motion on this?
I motion to pass PLN-21-0052.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, can we get a vote?
Commissioner Uva,
Aye.
Commissioner Ortiz,
Aye.
Commissioner Montoya,
Aye.
Vice Chair Owens,
Abstain.
and Chair Duarte.
Aye.
The motion passes with 4 in favor and Vice Chair Owens abstention to approve PLN 21-00052 for a conditional use permit with 4 in favor and 1 abstention.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations. I should have asked Commissioner Ortiz if that was his own free will on the vote. But. Okay. Now's the time set aside for PLN-21-00110. It is now open. I think we will have an abstention from one of our commissioners.
Yes, Commissioner. I will be abstaining from item number 4 as I own property at 10232 Western Avenue, which is within 500 feet from the property listed on agenda item number 4.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Hua.
Thank you.
Okay, does the secretary have proof of publication?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Will the Director of Community Development introduce staff making the presentation?
Thank you, Chair Duarte. Tonight we have Irving Anaya, our Associate Planner, to make the presentation.
Good evening, Honorable Chair, Commissioners, and members of the audience. The item before you is a request for a tentative tract map for the development of a 12-unit, 2-story condominium housing project in the R2 two-family residential zone. The subject site for the future condo project is planned to be constructed on 2 R2 zone properties. These properties are located at 10221 and 10303 Downey Avenue. The aerial view as shown on this slide gives you a better perspective of where the subject site is located, south of Florence Avenue, northwest of Lexington Road. Now, some commissioners may remember these properties when they were brought for a zone change consideration in June of 2018, before being approved by the City Council in July of 2018. So the overall project site consists of 2 R2 zone lots surrounded by R3 zone properties abutting to the south and west, R1 5,000 and 10,000 zone properties to the east and southeast, and CP Professional Office to the north along Florence Avenue. Each subject site is currently developed with a single-family residence and a two-car garage built in the early 50s. The slide before you provides you with a view of the two properties from Downey Avenue. Now, for tonight's request, the applicant is proposing a tentative tract map in order to merge both properties into one common parcel and subdivide the land into 12 condo units for separate private ownership. Currently, each property is 18,000 square feet in size. Once merged, the subject size will be a total of 36,000 square feet. Based on the R2's density standard of 17 units per acre, the consolidated 36,000 square foot lot can allow a maximum of 14 units. However, the applicant is proposing a less dense project by proposing a 12-unit condo development. The reduction of units allows the applicant to accommodate a more fitting development for the neighborhood. This includes two separate two-story buildings, each with 6 condo units and a 2-car garage, a 26-foot wide private driveway, 6 on-site guest parking stalls at the rear of the site, greater building setbacks along the sides and rear by incorporating a modulated building line, and a well-landscaped front, side, and rear yard areas. Now, as part of the tentative tract map process, the applicant submitted a precise plan of design which shows the proposed architectural style and site improvements for the development, as you will see in the following slides. It's kind of hard to see on these screens here. The slide before you illustrates the proposed site plan for the overall development. Now, similar to the tentative tract map, the site plan provides the structure's locations, driveway, guest parking at the rear, but also illustrates proposed landscaped areas and other site improvements. The applicant also has included a landscape plan with a diverse number of plant species. The slide before you shows everyone the different types of plants that will be installed during the development. Now, as I previously stated, the new development will consist of 2 separate buildings, each containing 6 condo units. Each building will have 2 different types of floor plan options. Plan 1 will be a 1,624 square foot of living area, providing a 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 2-story floor plan, and a 446 square foot 2-car garage. Plan 2 will be 1,909 square feet of living area, providing a 3 to 4 bed, 3 bath, 2-story floor plan, and a 468 square foot 2-car garage. The slide shows, the first and second floor of each unit in Building 1, which will be situated to the south. For better reference, the applicant included a reduced scale site plan on the plan to the right. Building 2 will be situated along the north side of the property and will be a mirrored floor plan of Building 1. The same square footage as noted in the previous slide and will be reflected in Building 2. Now, the choice in architecture for the development is the Spanish style, incorporating various elements found in this specific style, such as smooth stucco finish, S-tile roof, wood accent features, decorative wrought iron features, colored shutters, and wood window trim. The elevations on this slide paint a better image of the proposed structures. As I mentioned, these buildings have mirrored layout design, so this slide illustrates the interior side facade, both front and rear facade in the middle, and the side yard facades towards the bottom. The choice in exterior colors will be earth tone, commonly found in Spanish architecture, and you can see a palette here on slide. And this last slide is the last elevation, which shows how the development will appear as seen from Downey Avenue. Now, as such, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve the tentative tract map, thereby allowing the development of a 12-unit, 2-story condominium housing project at 0221 and 10303 Downey Avenue, Zone R2. And this concludes staff's presentation. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Commissioner Ortiz, do you have any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Montoya?
Yeah, just one question for clarification. So This is a tentative track map because there could be some modifications or changes before it becomes a final track map. Is that correct?
If there are some modifications tonight due to your recommendations, yes, the track map would have to be revised and then presented to City Council.
Okay.
For the final track map.
Thank you.
Chair Duarte, if I can provide additional clarification, while it's going through the process with the city, it is a tentative map until it's been approved, vetted. After Planning Commission's approval, it then goes to LA County. They review it. Once it meets all of their standards, then a final map is prepared and it's brought back to the City Council.
Thank you for that clarification.
And to be clear, the elevations that you're seeing here are not going to change based on that map.
Okay.
So if the site plan changes or those elevations change based on the procedural process that they have to go through, we'll come back to the Planning Commission.
I see. So it's tentative based on LA County approval. Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah.
No further questions? Vice Chair Owens.
Nothing. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation.
And I guess I had one question in terms of just going back into time. I think originally when the applicant was here, was it a 3-story project they were asking for?
Yes, that's accurate. The applicant was in front of the Planning Commission twice seeking greater densities. And the Planning Commission and staff weren't in support of that. The applicant was in front of the City Council twice, first seeking some greater densities as well. But we've all concluded that the R2 density that you see in front of you and also the layout that you see in front of you, which yields this type of development, was appropriate for that neighborhood.
Thank you. Yeah, the renderings look great. So, and that was all my questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Before I call the applicant or his or her representative, this would be the time for any planning commissioners to discuss any pre-hearing site visits or pre-hearing discussions the commissioners may have had about the project. Commissioner Ortiz?
I did go see the site today before the meeting.
Okay. Commissioner Montoya?
I didn't, I guess, visit, but I drove down Downey Avenue on my way here, so I don't know if that needs clarification, but yeah, yeah. That's about it, though.
And Vice Chair Owens?
None. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, and I have none. Will the applicant or his or her representative please come forward to give testimony?
Hello, my name is Yahia Zachariah. I reside at 12126 Orizaba Avenue in Downey. I went to high school in Downey, a Warren graduate, 2005. And yeah, like we said, we've been at the Planning Commission a few times, and this is what's came out, a lot of hard work between Planning Commission, planning staff and the architects who did the renderings. And it's just, this is where we're at. And I don't know if you guys have any other questions for me. I work directly for the owner. He couldn't make it tonight, but he probably doesn't know as much as this. I know a lot more of the project than he does. So if you guys have any questions, feel free.
Okay. Commissioner Ortiz, do you have any questions?
No questions, just a comment. Those renderings look beautiful. I applaud to you and your staff and to our staff for working on something as beautiful as this. I actually really like to see that more at the city of Downey.
So do I. Believe me, this is something we're hoping to do more of in Downey.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Montoya?
No questions either, but I echo Commissioner Ortiz's comments. It's, yeah, when I opened up the maps and saw everything, thought it was beautiful.
Thank you. I'll make sure to tell the architects they're not cheap. So, but that's what you get. You get, you get what you pay for. So.
And Vice Chair Owens?
Okay, so I would agree with my fellow commissioners and the applicant. Beautiful project, beautiful renderings. We'll get into this in our deliberation, but here's the question for you, Mr. Zachariah. Did you ever consider photovoltaic and or electrical charging stations for people who may purchase these units? I know that's down the road, but back to the architects, they missed that piece. Any comment?
believe we spoke about it. If they missed it, that's something that can be very easily installed in the garages. And I believe the power supply is there in the buildings already. So it's just a simple modification to provide the outlet there. So that's definitely something we can talk about with staff, and very, very easily done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Well, thank you, Mr. Owens, as a owner of an electrical vehicle. I miss that myself.
Yeah, we got to look towards the future.
Yeah. So is that just echoing on Vice Chair Owens' sentiments? Is that something that the applicant would be in favor of installing outlets for electrical charging?
Yeah, I can't tell who's talking, so I'm trying to figure out. But over here, there we go. Yeah, definitely. I definitely feel if we missed it, I definitely want it, and it's a very easy thing. This is why we have these discussions so early, to make these things happen. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So no further questions. A comment. Warren, I won't hold that against you, Downey. And I think this is the time to pat me and Mr. Owens on our backs here.
Did he also go to Downey?
Yes, but I think Mr. Owens went to Pius, but I think that this 2-story looks better than the 3-story.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The 3-story, you try to fit a little more, but the 2-story looks beautiful.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Has there been any correspondence in favor or opposition?
Yes, Chair. 2 items of correspondence were received and provided to the Planning Commission on the dais and for the public in the chambers. Both items were in opposition to the project, primarily due to density and parking concerns.
Thank you. Okay. I think the planning staff already mentioned this, but do they have a recommendation?
Yes, staff recommends approval of PLN-20-00110 for a tentative track map to allow a 12-unit condominium development.
Okay, great. The hearing on PLN-20-00110 is now closed. This is time for discussion. Does any of the commission like to discuss anything about the project? Any questions? Commissioner Ortiz?
No questions. Well, actually, I was wondering if maybe I can be a little educated. This type of construction, is it something that we can continue moving forward to provide a standard for other townhomes that are being built here?
Sure, it's more in terms of the design. And so what you're looking at is a Spanish design architecturally for this residential development. And what we did recently with the guidance from the Planning Commission and the Council was to establish some residential design guidelines. And those are only for single-family homes, so they don't bleed into these. But we use those as a way to then model what other residential development would look like as well. There's various different types of architectural designs for residential product. And once again, sometimes it's subjective in terms of what your eye is directed to. Regardless, what our attempt is, if somebody says they're going to do a Spanish design or a Tudor design or a modern design, we try to hold them to that. And if you go to an architectural digest, it will tell you what those elements are that go into that type of design. So that's what we attempt to push regardless of what the design is. And so to answer your question specifically is, if somebody is going to suggest a design, we attempt our best to hold them to that so that we get high quality design.
No further questions. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Montoya?
Nothing further to discuss or add, but it's nice to see other Warren alum come up and do things. So I felt like I had to put that out there since we had 2 of them.
All right. No further comments from him. Vice Chair Owens?
Yes, go Warriors. So thank you, Mr. Chair. And Pius is recruited pretty heavily this year, so we're heading in the right direction. But to get back on subject, back on point, if Crystal, if you could help us with some language, I'd like to recommend that we add somewhere between 8 and 9 on page 14, the requirement of the EV charging, in the garages of the units, however that language is best memorialized. And
Yes.
with that, with enhancing that condition, maybe some of the other commissioners might have some slight changes. It sounded like the applicant was amenable.
Sure, Mr. Chair, if I can just ask for clarification, that was electrical vehicle charging stations in all of the garage spaces, is that correct?
Yes, and to go on a little further, and I know this would, again, the applicant would probably be allowed to respond. I think I'd also be interested in having a conduit stubbed up through the roof area for any future photovoltaic installation, so that that conduit's already there as provided, as part of the build of the project, and not at the expense of the eventual owner.
Yeah. And then can you just maybe educate us a little bit on that, Vice Chair Owens, on what you're asking for in the interior of the home? I'm just not very familiar with it. I'm sorry.
So I'm imagining, and I didn't look through the plans, completely, but imagining the panel for the condominium, the electrical panel for the condominium is located probably in the garage. In order to access that panel into the future, if you were going to put, some local generation like photovoltaics, maybe wind, who knows, but if you had to put a conduit through this roofing product, into the future, or slap it onto the side of the building, it's a more invasive, installation than if it's inexpensive, and if it's caught on the front end, with the build as we condition it, to be a requirement, a 3/4 inch EMT, which is a thin-walled conduit from the panel, through the roof and capped off for any future photovoltaic installation. That would be, if that's the words we use, but that would be the intent.
Sure, Commissioners, that's something that we can capture. If you'd like to reopen the public hearing to chat with the applicant about making the rooftop solar ready in the future, if need be, that's your discretion as well. But in terms of the primary condition about adding connectivity in the garages, we can add general language there, and then also entertain future language if you'd like to in terms of connectivity to the rooftops. Also, the California Building Code, specifically the Green Code, is moving in that direction, and if not, doesn't mandate it today, will so in the future. Regardless, we have language that we can pull from there, and that'll be checked during building plan check.
Okay. And is that a single condition, or would that be two separate conditions?
No, we'd look at it as two separate conditions. We'll do what we're going to connect through the garage, and then what we're going to connect on the rooftop, just to be clear.
Mr. Commissioner, could I ask staff, I guess, more of a clarification? So what Commissioner Owens is asking, how is that different from the condition I see on condition number 9? I guess just for my own clarification.
Sure. So condition number 9, it says there shall be no rooftop mounted equipment permitted at any time. What that means is our biggest challenge is people put air conditioning units and other large obtuse units on their rooftops. And regardless if they screen them with a parapet or not, it's just not pleasing. And so we spoke about getting good design that works counter to good design. So that's what that speaks to specifically, that the solar, even though, you could argue that it's a large structure, is allowable based on the efficiencies in moving into a sustainable development and achieving those goals.
I see. So it's just stating that there is a condition that there can be solar panels installed, but not that there will be.
Yes, and at the same time, it'd be specific to those solar panels. So we wouldn't write it as vague to where somebody would come in and have the ability to install a large blocked AC unit up there.
Got you. Thank you for that clarification.
Sure.
And if I could add additionally, just a little bit I know about buildings. So, solar panels or rack systems that hold solar panels, the engineering on the roof is already overbuilt to hold that additional weight. Not so true of an AC unit, or a water-filled panel if you were doing passive water heating, on your roof. Remember, water weighs 8 pounds a gallon, but that's just my 2 cents. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Owens.
Mr. Chair, if I can, for the commission's discussion and for the applicant's consideration before opening the public hearing, the potential conditions that we have, it would be a new condition 9 that would read all garages shall be provided with electric vehicle charging stations. A new condition 10, a separate condition would read conduit shall be incorporated into all units to facilitate future potential for photovoltaic panel installation.
Okay. You heard that language, Vice Chair Owens?
Yes, that's adequate. It works very well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, now I'd like to reopen the hearing for the applicant. If you would like to step forward, hearing the discussion with the 2 new conditions, what are your thoughts on those?
Sure. Yeah, I already think, all those, I was going to mention that the building code already states that we need to prepare the buildings for future photovoltaic use. So, that's definitely something that we're very interested in, and we definitely want to do it. So, yeah.
So you wouldn't be opposed to those 2 conditions? being
Yeah,
added?
and we agree with the language.
Okay,
So
you agree with the language?
everything's-
Okay,
mhm.
great. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
All right. I guess I'd like to ask anybody who would like to speak in favor or opposition of that? We have, please come forward. Just state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Daniel Jimenez. My address is 10218 La Reina Avenue. I'm directly behind this construction site. So I'm here more so with my concerns during the construction phase, right? Is for a construction of this size, my concern is compacting. I don't know if this would require compacting, where they start shaking, compressing the dirt around you. And what rights do I have as a homeowner and the person directly behind if anything is damaged to my area, right? Because if they start compacting, it basically shakes everything. They've been doing construction work all of Florence, and they've been doing something with digging and stuff. And even though they're kind of far away, you could feel it all the way to my home. You could, most of my neighbors, but they didn't show up. That's one of my concerns that I have. If there is any compact that's going on, what rights do I have as a citizen and somebody directly behind? Another thing that I wanted is during the construction phase is noise and what times can they construct if this were to be allowed. Because right now I'm working 100% remote due to COVID. And so this would affect my working environment. And so I just want to see what rights do I have, right? I've been talking to Irvin. He's been really great. And I appreciate that. But I just want to approach you and ask you specifically, is there any rights that I have, or is there any way that we could come to an amicable agreement if this were to proceed forward? All the other things is I did see that there was 6 parking guest units. I don't know, because I live on La Reina, and La Reina is always full of parking. It's bad. It's really bad on Western. Downey is sort of the same. I don't know if 6 is the minimum that you could ask for. You could ask for more guest parking because I think it'll be needed. But I don't know. But that's really more what I'd like to ask the city council if they could take that in consideration, right? Is like right now we're working from home. The compacting, if it were to damage anything of my home, what rights do I actually have? So that's but I really do appreciate that it came down from 3 to 2. That's great, right? And from 14 to 12, it's better. I think originally they were asking for 18. So that's good.
Sure. Just in terms of the construction that's going to happen there, that's going to be fleshed out in our building and safety plan check. And so what we can do is we can extend an invite to you to talk to our building officials so we can get into the specifics of if compacting is going to occur or not, and the type of trades that are going to be out there and the type of constructions that's going to occur based on the scope of work. So we can help you with that. In terms of the construction hours, condition number 7 lists them that a construction is limited from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays and nothing outside of that. So nothing to occur on Sunday. In terms of your rights, it's more of a legal question that the commission isn't ready to answer, has the ability to answer. That's probably something that you'd need to seek some legal guidance on.
Okay. What about a noise ordinance? Is there anything that we could follow? Can they be as loud as they want, or I'm not sure.
Crystal?
The city does have noise ordinances. However, there is exemption for construction work so long as it's happening within those designated hours.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you very
Sir,
much.
sir, once again, if you'd like to come in and chat with the building official, you can work through Irving. And
I'm actually scheduled to meet with them on Friday.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we appreciate you voicing your concerns here. Okay. With that, anyone else? Okay. Does the applicant care for a rebuttal?
I'm actually going to try to connect with him, give him my card, and just try to see if there's anything else we can do during that time as well. You know, I know how that stuff is, and we try to get in and out as fast as we can. So, yeah, anything the staff asks us to do or anything, we'll try to stay within all the conditions that we have.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, the hearing on PLN-21-00110 is now closed. Commissioners, do you need to discuss anything further? There's been 2 conditions that we have discussed. We want to add that those amendments to the actual presentation here. We can. Is there any further discussion that anybody has any comments on?
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, Mr. Owens, Vice Chair Owens, what's your motion?
So the motion would be to approve PLN-20-010-110 with the addition of those 2 following conditions, the new number 9 and the new number 10.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a first second. Can we please take a roll call vote?
Commissioner Uva?
Abstain.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Uva abstaining. Commissioner Ortiz?
Aye.
Commissioner Montoya?
Aye.
Vice Chair Owens?
Aye.
And Chair Duarte?
Aye.
And the motion passes with 4 in favor and Commissioner Uba abstaining to approve PLN 20-00110 with added conditions as stated by the city planner.
Okay, congratulations. Thank you. Okay, now moving on to non-agenda public comment portion here. So we'll wait for Ms. Uva to join us. Okay, now moving forward to the non-agenda public comment. This portion provides an opportunity for the public to address the planning commission on items within the jurisdiction of the planning commission and not listed on the agenda. If it is requested but not required, it is requested but not required that you state your name, address, and subject matter upon which you wish to speak. Please limit your comments to no more than 5 minutes. Pursuant to the Brown Act, no discussion or action other than the brief response, referral to the city manager, city council, city staff, or schedule for a subsequent agenda shall be taken by the planning commission on any issues brought forth under this section. And I see no one here as public, non-public comment. Okay. Moving forward to the consent calendar. Items in this section shall be acted on in one motion unless the commissioner requests a separate action. Anyone wishing to discuss a consent calendar item should be recognized by the chair. State your name, address, and agenda item. Do you have a, okay, so we have just one issue here with the minutes on June 16th for the consent calendar. Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll make a
Motion
motion.
to, oh, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second,
Okay, if we have a first and a second, Madam Secretary, can we take a roll call vote?
Commissioner Uva,
I need to abstain, I wasn't here.
Commissioner Montoya,
Aye.
Commissioner Ortiz,
Aye.
Vice Chair Owens,
aye.
and Chair Duarte.
Aye.
And the motion passes with 4 in favor and Commissioner Uva's abstention to approve the minutes from the June 16th, 2021 Planning Commission.
Okay, great. Moving along to other business. Is there any new business, or does the commissioner have any business to discuss? Commissioner Ortiz?
We brought up two, actually, yes, thank you, Chair. We brought up two subjects of Stonewood Mall. And I'm taking this opportunity to maybe bring up if we can do anything to reinvent Stonewood Mall, or like ask our tenants to maybe do a little upgrade on our Stonewood Mall and maybe start with the sign, because I remember it's been like that since I've been a child. So I don't know what we can do, but I just want to be educated a little bit of the power we have, or what we can work with Stonewood Mall.
Sure. Is that a discussion you'd like to have now, or do you want to have it offline?
Oh, well.
Yeah, because it's not.
It's not on the agenda,
Yeah, and
so.
we'll have it offline. It's also not a purview of the commission, but I can chat with you and any other commissioner if you like in terms of what's happening at the Stonewood Mall.
Cool. Thank you.
Commissioner Montoya?
I've got nothing further to discuss, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Commissioner Uva?
Nothing further for me.
Vice Chair Owens?
I do from staff, although what's happening with the Reeves Mansion? Seems like things have stalled.
Yeah, they have slowed down a bit. They had some challenges with some financing. I think they're back on board with that as well. Also, it's a challenge site just based on its condition, and then based on having to comply with all of the nuances of the National Historic designation that it has. We've also assigned a architectural historian to do peer review on any work that's being done out there. So we knew going in that there was two challenges. The first one, getting it approved by the Planning Commission in terms of getting a appropriate use at that site. And the second, which is often the biggest, is getting it constructed. And so that's what they're struggling with now. But they are moving, once again, moving through different obstacles.
Thank you.
Okay, and I don't have any new business to discuss. Does the Director of Development have any additional comments?
Yes, thank you, Chair Duarte. We are still dispersing our COVID relief funds, specifically for residential rent relief and for our businesses. 2 weeks ago, we had our Boy Scout Troop 371 out hanging door hangers on apartment complexes. We're reaching out to our service organizations and our churches to try to get the word out where we can, so that we can get more money out on the street to help people pay their rents that were negatively affected economically by COVID. Same on the business side. We've got $25,000 grants to give to businesses. And so if the commission can help us spread that word, they can refer people to our website and our social media sites, and we'd be eager to help them.
Okay. Okay, with that, this meeting is adjourned.
Good night, all.
Good night, Mr. Jones.